Hello, what's up guys, I'm Kyle from KGR, and this is the SH Figuarts NARUTOP99 Minato. Now, although this is not the first time we've seen a Minato figure in the Naruto line, this is the first one that we've seen since the relaunch. The original one came out towards the very end of the original Naruto lineup, so since its relaunch, the scale has changed a little bit, and also the quality has gotten so much better, so I'm excited to compare the two since I'm fortunate enough to have both. If you want to grab this guy yourself, there'll be safe places down below on where you can order this guy. But before we open him up, let's take a look at the box real quick. So we have Minato right here in this nice beautiful bubble, and we have 4 extra faces to go alongside him. Now this one's based off NARUTOP99, so this one's going to be a different variation compared to what a normal Minato release would normally look like. So let me know in the comments, are you willing to grab the NARUTOP99 version since this is the only new version of it? Or are you willing to wait to see if they make an original Minato? But anyway, so on the front we got one nice pose of him. We get a good look of the extra accessories we got. Then we got the top where we got the nice window so you can have a nice amount of light shine through this to really brighten it up. And then the bottom shows a different pose. We got another pose right here and another... Actually, not even a pose. It's just NARUTOP99 with Minato right there. But on the back, we're going to have the nice illustration that you will see on all the other NARUTOP99 releases, as well as a couple other poses. And since this is him right here, this is the pose they're going after right there. So, let's open him up and see how he is. Personally, I'm not a fan of the whole NARUTOP99 line, mainly because I know there's going to be a different version of it that's probably going to have better accessories and maybe a different paint job to it, maybe with more shadows and stuff. Because as you can tell back here, like they're trying to make it more vibrant and colorful. Although the Naruto from NARUTOP99 looked fantastic, the other ones I feel might be a little bit more vibrant than what I'd want on a traditional SH Figuarts. But let's open this up, and I am very excited to see how this goes. This is actually pretty cool looking. I'll get into the comparison like later towards the end of the video, but looking at the amount of accessories we have already, this is definitely more than what the original Minato came with. This is actually pretty insane. So let's open this up, and thankfully nothing went flying. I'm so thankful for that. And of course, since it's a brand new figure, you're gonna have like stuff wrapped around him. There's nothing in between joints, it's just that wrapping, so that made our job easier, thank you. But here is a good look at him. As you can tell from his vest, there's not really a whole lot of shading going on in there. But that's the intention. Again, they're trying to make it more vibrant to match the artwork on the back. So when it comes to having a Minato figure, this might stand out a little bit differently compared to the rest of your figures because of how the shading is different. But as of right now, this is the best Minato figure we've gotten so far, so we'll see how it goes in the future. As you can tell, it goes with a more plastic cloak instead of going with soft goods. If they do make another one, would you want them to do soft goods, or do you want them to stick with just this mold and just repaint it? The cloak is all windswept and it's very flexible, so when it comes to posing, it's not going to hinder any articulation, so we're doing good there. There is a little bit of a noticeable seam line going down certain parts of it. We have very little shading within the pants. Yeah, there's not really a whole lot of shading going on in this figure. Some might find that to look a little bit cheap. Again, that's the art style they're going for this release in particular. But I'm hoping that if they do make a proper release in the standard Naruto line, it'll look a little bit, I don't want to say dirtier, but have more dimensions to it with the shading. When it comes to swapping out the faces, should I pop off the head first? I think that's what I want to do, just to play it safe. And then drag down the head. And this face in particular, this one is going to be stuck with his Kunai in there, because this Kunai in particular has the NARUTOP99 stamping on there, which thankfully we do have his standard Kunai if you want to do just standard poses with them. We do have the NARUTOP99 Rasengan going on right here. I kind of wish they would have included a standard Rasengan to go with him as well, because the one that he came with originally with the original Minato release, I loved the way that Rasengan looked. But taking a closer look at this Rasengan, this is still a cool looking piece. And it looks like with the way the peg hole is matched up, this might be proprietary to Minato. So you wouldn't be able to just put this on a standard Naruto hand. I guess you could just steal his hand and do it, but it probably wouldn't look right. But this is a cool looking Rasengan. And I think we do have a good amount of faces. We got a shouting face, a smile. We got one where he has his teeth showing a little bit and then like his eyes closed. I think having a neutral face would have been nice as well. Or maybe swapping out one of those faces for a neutral face. But other than that, a pretty solid lineup of accessories. This is half decent. If I had to give it a rating, I'd probably give it like... to be non-biased, I want to say maybe a 7 or an 8. Because if it would have had a standard Rasengan outside of just this NARUTOP99 one, then solid. We got some relaxed looking hands right here. We got these two right here. Then we got some Jutsu, Rasengan, gripping for the Kunai, as well as straight up open hands. Let's put on the standard smile right here. Let's slide that in there. And this connects quite a few ways. So you have the 2 peg holes right there, and then we got this peg right here. So this has to go in a little bit odd. Then I guess we pop that back on. And then the back of his headband actually like spins and it's posable, so at least it hopefully won't break on you, so thank you. But look at the articulation on the back. Like, this cutout on paper is a little ugly, but it means good movement. Like, you got that good butterfly joint to go at least straight forward. It can't go across his chest all too well, but it does a good job. And we have a visitor. I'm not sure how much Chloe likes Naruto, but I do know she does love being in my videos. Hey Chloe, what do you think of Minato? She thinks it's meh? That's not very nice. So anyway, so we got this face on. Let's take out one of the hands and make it so it's an open hand. And the amount of space they give you in there, in the hand, gives you a decent amount of room to work with. Hello, beautiful. But I like how his fingers are so spread out, because one of the great displays that you can do with Minato is having his signature kunai and put it on one of his fingers as like a ring. Now before we put this kunai on, let's take a good look at that. Look at the detail on that. The paint job is so good on this. However, this thing does scare me. On my original one, I believe it fell off the shelf or something like that, and I had it in a pose like that, where it was either on his finger or he was holding it, but I'm pretty sure it was on his finger, and then the thing snapped. So be careful. Make sure you don't do that. I know with the newer kunai they've been doing, they'd have a peg system in there, but it would make it bulky. So this one, because it's so thin, they refuse to do that peg system. So aesthetics over functionality, it's understandable. So we put that on there. Actually, let's put it on his middle finger. Yeah, or we can put it on his ring finger, because, you know, he's married. I think. Is he married? I'm honestly not sure. I'm gonna put it on the middle finger just because of, like, that looks great. I love that. I think when I have him on the shelf, I'm probably gonna have him posed like this, so that's gonna be my default thing. And the paint applications on the face actually looks really solid. In fact, the paint application on this whole figure looks pretty good. He's very vibrant, very colorful. Just wish he had a little bit of shading, but maybe in a future release, we'll see. But looking at this, when it comes to wanting a standard version of the figure, I'm not entirely sure what all I really want outside of a standard Rasengan and maybe a neutral face, because this release already covers mostly everything I want in a Minato figure. This is actually a really good job. I'm seeing this, and I'm trying to see the box, and I'm like, how does this wrap around how's this supposed to look? Does it wrap around like that? Look at this, it looks like it like splits somehow. How in tarnation? Okay, so it actually does tell you. Have his arm up to wrap it around him. You gotta take his head off too. And since there's directions on the other side as well, I want to see what else is on the other side. How does it want us to swap out faces? Yeah, it wants off to take off the head to swap a face. Again, I like the fact that like the instructions are within the box now, so that is nice. Oh, well, I guess it kind of has the same issue as my original Minato, just different arm. So I'm not sure how many people had the same issue that I did, but with my original Minato that I've had, like, over the years, like, the one arm would just pop off very easily, But I'm not sure if that's going to be much of an issue with this one. I think this one's going to be just fine. This looks great. I'm probably not going to use it all that much, to be completely honest, at least for my display, but I like it. But as much as I love this, when the Sage Mode Naruto comes out, I love displaying the Sage Mode Naruto with Minato in my original display, but now that the Sage Mode Naruto is going to have soft goods with him, it's going to clash because this is plastic and that one's going to be like fabric. I mean, since we did the effort of putting this on, I guess we might as well commit and like try and set up the iconic pose that it's trying to do. So we got the original head back on, so let's put that on. It hurts a little bit to put his head on, as you can see the indents in my fingers. I'm gonna take this kunai out just to play it safe, because again, I broke my first one. I don't want to accidentally break it again. Let's pull up the box as like a point of reference. Then we grab this, and I guess we'll put the Rasengan on there a while. So I guess he like underhands the Rasengan. I already have the right hand on too. That's actually pretty excellent. I like that. So then we gotta bend his legs, but it's mainly the torso we want to move. So I can't perfectly replicate the pose, but I think this is close enough. I think that looks half decent. Now let's get him into a similar pose on how I have my old Minato set up, just so I can compare the two and show off the major differences when it comes to mainly the colors, but the biggest thing I want to show off is the height. But overall, I'm actually really impressed by this release. This is actually a really solid figure. And this is also very flexible too, so it won't snap too easily on you, so thank goodness. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of having to take off the whole head to swap out a face, but personally, that I'm just nervous on trying to set these faces up anyway without doing paint transfer or anything like that, so I don't have a whole lot to complain about, to be honest. So we're gonna put this hand on before I even attempt to put the kunai through. Now doing the kunai makes me a little nervous, especially since the fact that I can't even find it. I lost it. Oh, here it is. I found it. So I guess what we're gonna do is we're gonna push it through the bottom of his palm and make him grip it that way. I think doing it that way causes the least tension, and like it doesn't bend anything too much. It just mostly slides into place and it has a firm grip on it. So nice. Then we're gonna do a standard fist on this hand. Then we're gonna get him to stand normally, and then we're gonna compare him to some of the older figures. I think that's as close as I'm getting to how I set it up normally. So let's move the boxes a little bit out of the way, and let's compare him to the original Minato. The height difference is significant. Oh my goodness. This thing's also really dusty, to be completely fair. I like the colors on this one a lot. I like the more gray sleeves. I like the lighter shade of gray, more gray than white when it comes to his cloak, but I think the white does look better. The printing on the back of their cloaks, there's a difference. I'm not sure which one I like more, to be honest, but you could tell the flame set up on the bottom of his cloak is different between the two. But with the butterfly joint set up on this, you can obviously have like an obvious hinge there, so it's a little bit uglier in comparison to this. And the hair on the newer figure, even the face, like the newer figure just looks significantly better. You could definitely tell it has that new standard of SH Figuarts in comparison to this old one. This one was fine at the time, but this one definitely blows it out of the water. I would love to see a modern Minato with a somewhat similar paint job to the older one. I would love to see one that looks not as vibrant and look more like he blends in with the rest of the lineup, I guess. Yeah, I think all this figure really needs is like a slightly different paint job and more shading. Other than that, like, this thing is solid. I'm actually really impressed with this new Minato. This is actually really solid. But I'm gonna be a little bit sad to put this one away to make room for this. But with this kunai, it is printed on both sides, while with this one, it's only printed on one. Very interesting take right there. Okay, interesting. I feel like if you're going to go for a Minato figure, obviously go for the brand new one if you can, just for scaling reasons. And also affordability, because this one's a good amount cheaper compared to what the original one goes for. But let's compare him to the standard Naruto that you would find in a Target. And I feel the face, like, printed on Minato, I feel like they perfected it. I think that this is what Minato should look like. The Naruto face, I'm still hit and miss. Like, I feel like it could have been done a little bit better to match the way he looks in the anime. But overall, I still think it looks pretty good. But the one I'm really the most excited for is to compare it to is the Kurama Link mode. That looks really cool. I would love to see a Kurama Link version of Minato to match this. I could see it also being P Bandai exclusive like this guy. That would actually be pretty unfortunate. But having these two like together like that would look so cool. Would you buy a Kurama Link Minato? Let me know in the comments. I'm curious. But when it comes to the question I asked earlier in the video, is it worth grabbing this one or waiting until a later release? Honestly, personally, I think it's fine. I think if you grab this Minato, you're gonna be just fine. When you compare the accessories between the two, there is quite a significant difference. But man, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of wish he did have a smaller, more normal Rasengan like this. In fact, can this actually fit on his hand? Very loosely. You can make it fit, but this hand is so much smaller compared to what his hand normally looks like, so. If we could have a Minato with a normal Rasengan like this, I'd be happy. This would look really good. Look at the size hand differences. It's actually not as drastic as I expected. Honestly, it might be worth holding on to the old one just to have that old Rasengan piece. But yeah, I think this one is worth grabbing. If they make a future one, then I'll buy it again and I'll probably get rid of this one. And I suggest you do the same because this is a good figure. This is the Minato figure you're gonna want for now until they possibly release a new one in the future. But that's gonna sum it up for this video. So if you're new and you like what you saw, you know what to do. In the description, there's going to be my social media as well on safe places where you can buy this guy. And thank you so much for joining this unboxing. This was a lot of fun. Thank you guys for watching. I love you guys to death. And I'll see you all in the next one. So peace.